ॐ भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all, Thou art all, Thou assumest all forms, Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all, Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful, may the wicked become gentle, may all creatures think of mutual welfare, may their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Om, peace, peace, peace. Shukalyan will sing an opening song appropriate for today's topic. It's a song that Sri Ramakrishna used to love a lot and had sang many times.
So as Maharaj said, this song, we find mention of this in the Kathamrita, the Gospel, 9 times, perhaps the highest number. And each time it was sung by Sri Ramakrishna himself. Dub 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 rup shagore amar mon, ore dub 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 rup shagore amar mon, tala tala patal khujle, tala tala patal khujle, pabire prem ratno dhan, pabire prem ratno dhan, dub 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 rup shagore amar mon, ore rup dub dub rup shagore amar mon. খোঁজ 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 খোঁজলে পাবি হৃদয় মাঝে বৃন্দাবন খোঁজ 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 খোঁজলে পাবি হৃদয় মাঝে বৃন্দাবন দীপ 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 জ্ঞানের বাতি দীপ 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 জ্ঞানের বাতি জ্বলবে হৃদয় অনুক্ষণ জ্বলবে হৃদয় অনুক্ষণ ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন ওরে ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন ড্যাং 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 ডাঙায় ডিঙে চালায় আবার সে কুঞ্জন ড্যাং 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 ডাঙায় ডিঙে চালায় আবার সে কুঞ্জন কুবির বলে শোন 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 কুবির বলে শোন 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 ভাবো গুরুর শ্রীচরণ ভাবো গুরুর শ্রীচরণ ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন ওরে ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন তলাতল পাতাল খুঁজলে তলাতল পাতাল খুঁজলে পাবি রে প্রেম রত্নধন পাবি রে প্রেম রত্নধন ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন ওরে ডুব 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 রূপ সাগরে আমার মন
Hello, is the microphone on? Okay. Let us feel the deepest core of our being, beyond body, beyond mind, beyond intellect. There is this unchanging core of our being. It is unchanging, not affected by time or space. So it is non-dual. It is bliss itself. It is love itself. To discover it is the goal of all beings. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Om. Asatu ma sadgamaya, tamasu ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurmam amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, and from this limited mortal existence to the immortal existence itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Human beings have a characteristic tendency in a way that defines humanity to go below what is just appearing on this surface, not to get caught into superficial appearances and running after those. It seeks to go deeper. Whatever progress human beings have achieved in any field, it has depended on this tendency to go deeper. And the depth of the matter has always revealed something that was not apparent. It was not on the surface of consciousness where we know by the sense organs alone. On the surface we see that the earth is flat and is steady, it doesn't move. But human beings were not satisfied by that. They wanted to know more. And then they discovered that it is not flat, it is round, and thus also it moves. It is not something that you can just know by your superficial view. On the surface it appears to be just flat and steady. I used to argue with some older kids that how can it be round? We would have fallen off, isn't it, had it been round? See, try to stand on a ball, you will fall down. And moreover, if the ball is rotating, forget about it. How can you be there? It cannot be round and moving, it has to be flat and steady. So, non-moving. But then we investigate and discover that no, although on the surface it does appear to be flat and non-moving, a little going into the depths of the matter, we see that it is round and moving. So, then why do we not fall? It is too big for us to just fall off the surface like that. If you take, say, the ball, ordinary soccer ball, and put a tiny ant on it, it doesn't fall off. And for earth, we are even smaller than that tiny ant in comparison with the size. So, therefore, we don't fall. We even do not know that it is turning. So, because we have gotten used to that, if it stops turning, then the things will become, apparent to us. Oh, something is wrong. So, that is the reason that we discover by going deeper. We discover all the different secret of various powers, and thus are able to control that. The more we go deeper, the more knowledge we get, and knowledge gives you control and power. That is why human beings have harnessed electricity, that we are sitting here. The outside light is not that much, but then see, this is all well illumined, because we have now control over this power of electricity. After going deep alone, you can get it. All other things also we discover is by going below what appears on the surface. This is therefore a characteristic human tendency to go below the surface. Other animals have that is just to dig a little deep to make a hole in the ground. That's about it, is there going to the depth of the matter. But human beings, they want to know what, when you just push aside this superficial appearance, what is there below. It goes all the way to find out that what is an atom? Come on, try to break even that, see what is in the depth of it. So, this tendency goes on and on till we reach the ultimate, which by its nature cannot be breakable. It is always one without second. So, till we reach that, this process of analyzing, breaking and finding out what is within that goes on. And with every such going deep, there are very wonderful consequences that we see. One thing is that the deeper you go, you see the oneness or unity. More oneness is seen. Like the color of our skins are different. We are different at the level of this appearance of the skin. But make a little cut, a small scratch, and you see the color of the blood is same, doesn't vary according to the color of the skin. So it is, we see a unity there, a sameness, that going to the depth we see that with that which is similar. We go deep to find out, that what is happening within a human body. Just what appears on the surface we don't learn that much, but then there is the dissection, there is the X-ray and modern techniques of radiology. All that tells us what is deeper, how the different organs are functioning, and if they are malfunctioning, then how to correct that. That also we discover by seeing the correlations and how they function. So all this depends on depth. We learn about how the mind functions, that also we have to go deep. That it is, don't just get deceived by the behavior, analyze the behavior, try to see the correlations that have these two tools of knowledge. Thus they all involve actually going at depth, and that is analysis and generalization. Both these, as you go deep, that is analysis to see what is there, and then generalization means what you discover, you then generalize for all that category. And like you see that in human body, these are the organs inside, and you see that all human bodies are working on similar principles. So all human bodies will have to have these organs. That is the generalization of it. That there is heart in one human body, so there is a heart in every human being, even if that being can be called heartless in some different respect. It is, that is the heart. So as you go deep, you generalize and make what is called laws. Then you see that similarity, that oneness. The deeper you go, you discover it more and more. And when one reaches at that level where it is the ultimate depth, it is completely unchanging. Now there is no further going deep. Why? Because it can never become two. If you can see a line, a cut, then there are two there, If you make a cut there to go deeper, then it becomes as if there are two. The distinctions all vanish. The ultimate unity is reached, and there you see the final conclusion of this going into the depth of the matter, and there also we reach the ultimate goal of human beings. So one has to keep on going deeper and deeper till one reaches deepest. Deepest not in a just allegorical or superficial way, but deepest means there cannot be anything deeper than that in principle. Impossible to have anything deeper than that. So one reaches that level, and then we get the absolute oneness, or better word is absolute non-duality. We also see the absolute knowledge. Going every time go deeper, you get upsurge of knowledge. When you go to the deepest, then you get the absolute knowledge. Also, as the knowledge comes up, you are happy also. So going to the deepest level of knowledge, the absolute knowledge, you become absolutely happy, and there is nothing more to be attained. So when you see this in various Vedanta texts, that how, in what way one can realize this truth. The advice is, well, yes, go deeper. A beautiful verse comes in Kathopanishad, in the third canto of the first chapter of it, that Yesha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotma na prakashate drishyate tu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi. That principle is all pervading. In everything it is there. Sarveshu bhuteshu means in every being it is there. And gudha means it is hidden. It is hidden in the depth and therefore is not apparent on the surface. Na prakashate. But not that it can never be found out. One has to go deep enough to find it. So says drishyate tu. As such it cannot be seen. Na prakashate. It is impossible to see it. But tu means but. Drishyate. It is possible to see it. How? You have to go deeper. Sukshmaya, sukshmadarshibhi. You have to develop that fine perception tool, the tool that will be able to pierce through the surface and come to the inner core. That is, as has been mentioned earlier by the same Upanishad, is the goal. That by doing this, you reach the ultimate, deepest thing, and that being the unchanging, everlasting life, that being the highest happiness that you can think of. It is also the source of highest love and oneness. Therefore, that is the goal of life. You reach it by going deeper. Drishyate tu agraya buddhya. Very sharp. That intellect can penetrate on the superficial appearances. And thus what happens is, the superficial appearance compared to the inner beauty is more attractive, and then you don't go to the superficial appearances. You tend to go deeper. Your attraction to go deeper goes on intensifying, and thus sukshmadarshibhi, you see the subtlest, the finest thing that pervades everything. The finest is all pervasive. Even in our matter we see that the atom is smallest, but everything has atom. So without atom you do not have a thing. So it is so the more pervasive it becomes. So you see that truth which pervades even the principle of time and space, and therefore it is one without second. It is why one without second? Please, since you are listening to Vedanta talks for a long time, I need not explain much, but when something is so superfine that it transcends time, means transcends any kind of change. Change means time. And therefore you cannot even say that it is here, there, then, now and all that. All those varieties, they are something that changes. That which is changeless, you cannot contain it into space and time and into multiplicity. Multiplicity means the concept of space and time, and therefore it goes beyond that, and that is the way to go. Go to deep. Our minds, they tend to stick to the surface, get deluded by the attractions on the surface, and we also thus run after getting things that appear to the senses, superficial things, and then, well, result is there, suffering. There is no escape from suffering if we are only looking at the surface. So, therefore, the advice given by the sages, by the great teachers of mankind is go deeper. Even what we call spiritual practice, there has to be the effort to go deeper. That alone makes it a potent spiritual practice. Otherwise, it is just going, looking at the surface, thinking that I am going deeper because I am reading some more books on spirituality, or I am doing some good work, helping others and so forth. It is good, but it should not remain on the surface. You should go deeper. That is the purpose of all these teachings. We may be seeing something about this. This topic actually has been chosen because there was in the class on Tuesday, there was this question about what is the meaning of going deeper. That how it is not, if I keep on repeating the name more, is it not deeper? If I sit meditating for instead of half an hour for 1 hour, is it not going to be deeper? No. Just as walking 1 mile on the surface of the earth, and then instead of walking 1 mile, you walk 3 miles. That doesn't make you go deeper. 3 miles on the surface. So instead of meditating for 15 minutes or half an hour, you meditate for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 12 hours. It still could be on the surface only. It is not going deeper. Going deeper is the question of quality and not just quantity. It is the deeper, to give you another analogy of moving, that suppose you are drilling, and so you have a drill that is turning and making hole in the ground or in a wall. Now, yes, what it does, it doesn't move only laterally. It is moving. Every time you turn, what happens? It goes deeper. So then that is, very different from just moving on the same surface. Going deeper in meditation reveals the inner oneness more and more, and therefore by what happens, the expression, outer expression in the unity of unity in behavior is love. You start loving others without any selfish motive involved in it. So it is, love becomes more by going deeper. The happiness you get becomes more by going deeper. So go deeper. Sri Ramakrishna used to give that teaching. It is very different to do more. It is going deeper. Many think that doing big work or instead of helping one person, if I help 10 people, I am doing more karma yoga. It is not so. Karma yoga doesn't depend, that it doesn't happen yoga unless you go deeper. It is not question of helping 1 or 10 or 10 million. It is only external thing, and depends on the means you have. It is all superficial. It is of course better than hurting 10 million people, better to help 10 million, that's okay. But that is not going to the depth, because it does not take you to the layers that lay beneath the surface. There is a very beautiful statement that comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The sage Yajnavalkya is telling in the court of Janaka, he is being asked question after question, and then in the answer to one of those questions, this question of depth comes. That there he says that even if a person spends thousands of years doing all the charitable works, performing austerities, performing meditations, juhoti, tapastapyate, yajati, he has given all that for bahuni varsha sahasrani api, even for many thousands of years. Alpameva tasya tad bhavati, that is just a little bit, because it is on the surface, so you can get more of the same, that's it. More of the same is not qualitatively different. It is on the surface you get the results of it. Like if you have helped more people, then maybe in the election, if it happens, more people are likely to vote for you. It is so. The spirit of karma yoga doesn't depend on how much you have done. Yajnavalkya there continues that by doing this, that the person's life as such is wasted. by just moving on the surface more or less. Alpameva tasya tad bhavati. When this person departs from life, then that person therefore he calls them krupanaha. That person is a miserly person. Miserly means has not utilized what was available. This human life is available for something greater than that, much greater than that. By making proper use of this human life, one can realize that he calls it aksharam, that this that which is changeless, which does not diminish or increase. It is changeless reality of everything. Then you have made good use of life. Otherwise you have a miserly person means has the means but does not use them. That is, wants to just hold on to those without using. That is not really, for example, one of our Swamis used to have a very nice example, that it is, he was our teacher in training center, very nice teacher, but then he wouldn't put on shirt on his person. Only when he is going out for a walk, and then he would use that shirt. So, what happened now is not being used, and at that age your body doesn't keep on growing, so it is good that his body was not going in the lateral sense of the word. So it is the same shirt he was using. So and there you have to go to the person in charge of giving you the cloth and all that for making the new one. So he said to our that person that, he was a senior Swami. So he said, now I want another shirt, this is torn, and that will probably be the last shirt of my life. That would be the last shirt of my life. So, because this one I used for 20 years, the earlier one was another one that was used for 20 years. So, now this, if it goes for another 20 years, it will be, I will not likely to, I will not be surviving another 20 years. He actually did not, but that is that apart. But then that senior Swami said, well, if you don't use it, naturally it will go on. And he told Sri Ramakrishna's is still kept in the museum. For last 70 years it is still there. It won't get spoiled or torn. It is Sri Ramakrishna is not using it now. So it is like that. That person who has things but does not use it, that deserves this name miserly. Now, we have this human body, just preserving it, keeping it intact, take all those medications, this, that, to preserve it longer. Question is, are you making the proper use of it to reach the goal or not? That is the key question. What is this body for? This body, the purpose of human body is to realize God. There is absolutely no other purpose for human body. All other things can be accomplished in the animal bodies also, So, human beings are for realizing the God, because human beings they have this special power of discernment, what is right and what is not right, and also what is the purpose of life. Human beings can think about that. Their life is not just instinctive life. So therefore, Sri Ramakrishna always used to say that to realize God is the goal of life. That is the goal, and that has to be achieved in life. That is, and that happens by going deeper and deeper in our mind, in our personality, to transcend those layers. It is that becomes generalization. Going deeper and then generalizing, then you transcend it. That you see, what is this body? And then, this is all that is. I am not that. By generalization, you see not just this body, that body, or whatever. I am not any of these body, not even the body of the celestial beings. I am none of these. So you, by going deeper, you learn that. You go deeper and see you are not even the mind. That reveals another level of depth, and then you see you are that supreme being, existence itself, bliss itself, Satchidananda. So Sri Ramakrishna always used to advise. You heard the beautiful song very nicely sung by Sukalyan, that dive deep. It is, I will be referring to this song. It is that I will speak of another song also. This song, it has a reference. Both these songs were being sung in the presence of Brahmo devotees. Brahmo Samaj, a new sect, comparatively new sect, was prevalent in Bengal, and that was in a way rebellion against the image worship and so many rituals that were being performed. So they would sit for meditation. But in spite of that, meditation is a good idea, but only superficial meditation. There is no depth to it. So Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, go in the depth. There the meditation becomes more and more effective. Let the meditation be like a drill by which you go deep, and not only just a brush that moves on the surface. You have to go deep. So otherwise he used to compare their meditation. They would just, it is similar to the meditation that we did in the beginning, lasting about 2-3 minutes or so. So he would say, what your meditation? This, the leader announced, let us sit for meditation. And they closed their eyes, and after 2-3 minutes the meditation was all over. So he said, the meditation was like, we see, I don't think many of you have seen, maybe 1 or 2 people here might have seen that the monkeys, I had witnessed this. Monkeys, they come in a big group, and wherever there is an orchard, they already get the news of it. So when they see that there are those guards there, they go and sit quietly on the treetops. Do not make any noise, do not make any movement, but they are looking at various trees where the nice fruits are. So the meditation is going on like that. Which fruit I should attack on, and when the moment the guards turned their back, hey! So, Sri Ramakrishna told these devotees, your meditation was like that monkey meditation, that thinking even while sitting and closed eyes, what the enjoyments I would run after this 5 or 10 or whatever minutes sitting. So, that is not meditation. Go deep. It is not the quantity. Even if say you sit for 1 hour or 2 hours, if your thoughts are hovering around those worldly things, does it become meditation? It does not become meditation. So, there is a very nice this couplet, Hindi couplet by Kabir, that it is that you kept on turning that rosary, the beads in your fingers, but the mind didn't turn, only the beads were turning in your fingers. And the tongue was probably moving, repeating the mantra, but even though you spent a whole age doing it, if not connected to mind, the mind didn't move, what is the use of it? It is like keep on pressing the accelerator of the car, that press the gas pedal without taking it out from the, putting it in that drive gear, then it only makes lot of noise. So, lot of meditational noise. Hey, we are going to sit for meditation. It would be announced from the megaphones, hey, now time for meditation. So, announcements, noise is there. But unless you put the car into that gear that can push the car, it only makes noise. So, this repetition of mantra, please don't misunderstand, that doesn't mean one should not repeat the mantra, but should repeat it with a view to go deeper. So, it is, if the mind doesn't turn, it is like that the engine is running, but that the power of the engine is not getting transmitted to the wheels. So, the wheels are not moving, you are not going anywhere. So, by lot of meditation of this type, if only your fingers are moving and your tongue is making some movement of the repetition of mantra, if it is not making an impact on mind to turn it, that's no meditation. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to sing this song. He said that there was one devotee of Brahma Samaj, Shivnath Shastri, that Shivnath had made a remark. He used to prevent later, or the devotees or the members of the Brahma Samaj, don't go to Sri Ramakrishna. By constantly thinking about God, his brain is spoiled. So, that Shivnath, he tells Shivnath, this is from Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I am quoting, can you tell me why you dwell so much on the powers and glories of God? I asked the same thing of Keshav Sen, the leader of the Brahma Samaj. One day Keshav and his party came to the temple garden of Dakshineshwar. I told them I wanted to hear how they lectured. A meeting was arranged in the paved courtyard about the bathing ghat of the Ganges, where Keshav gave a talk. He spoke very well. I went into a trance. After the lecture, I said to Keshav, why do you so often say such things as, O God, what beautiful flowers thou hast made, O thou O God, thou hast created the heavens, the stars, and the ocean, and so on. Those who love the splendor themselves are fond of dwelling on the God's splendor. It is. So he says, once a thief stole the jewels from the image of temple of Radhakanta. In Dakshineshwar, there is a Kali temple, there is the Radhakanta temple, and then there are many Shiva temples, 12 Shiva temples. So, it is the Radhakanta temple, and all those ornaments were stolen one day. And then this Mathur says that it is, he said, why, what a shame, O God, you could not save your own ornaments. Quite natural, how can you protect us if you could not protect your own ornaments? Sri Ramakrishna said to him, does he who has Lakshmi for his handmaid and attendant ever lack any splendor? Those jewels may be precious to you, but to God they are no better than lumps of clay. It is, you are petty-minded, so you think of only those things that, so therefore I say man seeks the person whom he finds joy. What need he has to ask where that person lives, how many houses he has, how many relatives, gardens and servants, or the amount of his wealth. I forget everything when I see Narendra, who later became Vivekananda, how much money Narendra has and what he has. No, because of the love for Narendra, who he saw as the embodiment of this spiritual wisdom. So he would therefore love him. And have I asked him where he lived, what his father's profession was, or the number of his brothers? Well, you don't need to know all those things. So he started singing this song that we just heard. Dive deep in the sweetness of God's bliss. What need have we of His infinite creation and unlimited glory? Don't worry about it. It is, but since we like the glory, we think of that God also with lot of glory. Dive deep, O mind, in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the utmost depth, there you will find the gem of love. O seek, O mind, go to seek Vrindavan in your own heart. Vrindavan, the holy place of pilgrimage. Literally millions of people visit there every year. And then, but there is the real Vrindavan where you have the meeting of not external Radha and Krishna, but the Purush and Prakriti, your true nature gets manifest there, and you, as it were, your ego dissolves into it. That is the meeting of God, in which then the ego completely dissolves. So, go seek, O mind, go seek Vrindavan in your heart, where with his loving devotees Sri Krishna sports eternally. Light up, O mind, light up the true wisdom's shining lamp, and let it burn with steady flame unceasingly within your heart. Who is it that steers your boat across this solid earth? On the earth, you don't row the boat. It is, but there is, this boat is like that, steers through all the gross material. Is it your Guru? Yes, the Guru takes us across all these things, follow the Guru. So he says, meditate on the holy feet of Guru. It is your Guru who will take you across this ocean by taking you to the deeper and deeper layers of your personality. Similar song is there in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. That also Sri Ramakrishna sang many times. It is the song dedicated to Divine Mother, Mother Kali. So he says, and there is again Brahmo devotees. Narendra used to go to Brahma Samaj those days. And so when Narendra and his friends had finished bathing in the Ganges, the master said to them earnestly, "Go to the Panchavati and meditate there under the banyan tree. Shall I give you something to sit on?" He wanted them to go and meditate there because that was the place where Sri Ramakrishna did all these spiritual practices, going to the deepest level and realizing the God. So he wanted them to feel that. You know, the picture that is behind this altar is a kind of a replication of that scene there. So it is Panchavati. So go there and meditate. And then about 10:30, Narendra and his Brahmo friends were meditating in the Panchavati. After a while, Sri Ramakrishna came to them. M2, the writer of the Gospel, was present. The master said to the Brahmo devotees, "In meditation, one must be absorbed in God. By merely floating on the surface of the water, can you reach the gems lying at the bottom of the sea?" Then he sang this song, taking the name of Kali, "Dive deep down, O mind, dub dere mon Kali bole." That dive deep, make a deep dive, and because there are so many nice gems in the bottom of the sea, but if you just move on the surface, you are not likely to find them. And that is why people say we cannot see God. Well, dive deep, dive deep, and then we are sure to find, friends, because that is there. So he continues that song, "Where many a precious gem lies hid in the bottom, but never believe the bed of the ocean is bare of gems. If in the first few dives you fail, keep on going deeper." It is, one is likely to fail, very likely, if one is just in one or two dives, you don't get it. Continue. If with firm resolve and self-control, dive deep and make your way to Mother Kali's realm. It is, one gives up, God. I tried to realize God. I was meditating for some, but nothing happened. How will anything happen, One has to keep on making a concerted attempt for a long time, regularly and very, very sincerely. And then one goes deeper, and then it is the wondrous pearls of peace, O mind, you get there, and you yourself can gather them. If you but have pure love and follow the scripture's rule within those oceans' depths as well, then he warns that you have to be careful, because there are alligators and other, they can kill you. These alligators are like our lust and greed and all such things, ego. These alligators can just kill us. So smear yourself with the turmeric of discrimination. It is, this turmeric is supposed to repel the alligators. So apply that turmeric to your person, and thus the alligators won't bother you. Discrimination means discernment. These days the word discrimination is used in a not a very happy sense, but this translation was done long ago. It is now discrimination means discriminating against something, against someone. That is a connotation that has been attached to it these days. So people use the word discernment between what is permanent, what is impermanent. Go for that which is permanent. This discernment, spirit of discernment, has to be kept up, and thus it will upon the ocean bed lie strewn unnumbered pearls and precious gems. So you get all that. He tells Narendra and his friends came down from their seats on the raised platform of the Panchavati. You can see that if you go there, there is a raised platform and so forth. And stood near the master. He returned to his room with them. The master continued, when you plunge in the water of the ocean, you may be attacked by alligators, but they won't touch you if your body is smeared with turmeric. And he says, what are these 6 alligators are there in that song? Lust, anger, avarice, and so on. Within you, in the heart's fathomless depths, but protect yourself with the turmeric of discernment and renunciation. Viveka and Vairagya are the technical Vedanta terms, that whatever is not right, be away from it, give it up. So that is Vairagya, renunciation. One has to do, as soon as you see that this is not right, you should get away from that. So it is, God alone is real and all else is unreal. So why should we go after that is unreal? As soon as one knows it is unreal, you will not be able to go for it. If you say, I know it is unreal, but still I run after it, that means we don't understand that it is unreal. That knowledge of unreality is very superficial knowledge. Hasn't sunk to the depth of the being. So, what can you achieve by mere lecturing and scholarship without discernment and dispassion? God alone is real and all else is unreal. God alone is the substance. See how important it is. Sri Ramakrishna is repeating it again. And all else is non-entity. That is the meaning of discernment. So he used to say Ishwar, he used the Bengali words or Sanskrit words actually, that God alone is Vastu, all else is Avastu. Vastu means that which is existing, and all else is Avastu means it has just appearance, no existence. So, first of all, he said, set up the shrine of your heart. Then you can give lectures and all that. Otherwise, those lectures are of no use. So, this is how this idea is being told. Go to the depth of the matter. It is, and one should actually, it is not a matter of lecturing or listening just to it, but attempt to go deep in our feeling of God. So that is how we will go to what is called qualitative difference. That statement is stuck with me. I heard it long back from a senior Swami, that quantity is human, quality is divine. So let us make our spiritual practice qualitative. Let us go deep in our practice. Let us pray that Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Yogatmananda inspire us and guide us in our search for this depth of our spiritual practice. Thank you, friends. Just think of these teachings for half a minute, and then if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Yes, please. Any question here? There is no question here. Yeah. Oh, that Abhishek has a question.
Have a few parts of the same question. So part A would be, yes, maybe many devotees are willing and understand that the depth is important. It is the depth that matters. And they are making a conscious effort towards that, but are still not able to do it. So how can they go in the depth direction is part A. Part B is, how can we measure how much depth have we reached? And part C is, when we come out of meditation, will we start from that same depth, or we again have to dive from the surface of the ocean?
Very good questions. Sri Ramakrishna replied that we want to go to the depth, but how can we go? The process. He gave the means, that discernment and consequent dispassion. And when that happens, you go to the depth. Like all this appears to be real, that my body, my relations, my spouse, my children, my friends, my job, my money. When you test it by this discernment, you see that they are not real, and then you lose interest for it. So you go deeper. And when you understand it, then it is not likely to come back to you, or even if it comes back, it will come back in many cases, unless when it becomes firm, it will not. Till then it keep on coming back, but now you have become adept in piercing it. You won't get deluded by that. You immediately say, oh, it is not real. And like those, those credit card promises. Initially I used to think, wow, they are very charitable people, they are giving you so much benefit and so forth. Then I learned, fortunately without getting trapped, but you learn that no, it is not like that. It is for their benefit that they are doing it. So next time you are not likely to get cheated by those. So it is when you go through the spirit of discernment and renunciation, then you reach a deeper level. And then how much deep you have reached, as long as you see the multiplicity, you need to go deeper. There is, as I mentioned, quantity is human. So how much? That is a human question, It doesn't have that quality assigned to it. So it is only a quantity, because it cannot be measured in so many inches, so many feet deep. It is not like how deep is the core of the earth from the surface. You can have a measure to it. But how deep we have to go to realize that goal, the God? Is there a measure to it? And not a quantitative measure. Quality, yes. Your life will qualitatively improve. What will happen? You will feel more love, more understanding. You will start feeling that there is the divine in everyone. you will have more joy in life rather than frustrations. So all this will happen in life as one goes in the depth of the matter. So that is the simple answer to your question. Thank you. Is there any question there? No question. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. Oh, before that, let me tell you, next Sunday, you will be listening from a wonderful speaker. So, for a change, I mean, it is Sukalyan Sengupta, who is sitting here. He will be speaking on the early biographies of Sri Ramakrishna. The Tuesday and Friday classes will go on as usual at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday the topic is Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. Friday it is the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. Then a spiritual retreat is coming up on March 26th, Saturday, March 26th. So, Swami Yogatmananda from the Vedanta Center of Washington, D.C. has kindly agreed to come and give this retreat. So, the topic that he has given is ABC of meditation. I have put a few posters around here. So, but you have to register for that retreat, and the fee for that registration is $30. But if you register early, that is up to 20th of March, then you get a great $10 discount, you know. So, in business terms, you can call it, say, 33% discount, you see. So, it is, so it is, that retreat is coming up. So, he is a wonderful speaker, very good teacher. So, let me conclude with the closing prayers. Of course, you know, Sri Ramakrishna's birth anniversary celebration will be on March 6th. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is a form. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of our worldly sorrow and compassion, so infinite is your word. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. Renouncer of all lust and lucre, therefore you were always spurning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless refuge of your devotees, causeless refuge of your devotees, renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's escape. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Langa, ranga, bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya Jaya for your worship divine. Hara Hara for your worship divine. Shiva Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed, graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all-seeing glory. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Sardar Devi Ki Jai, Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai, Jai Shri Buddhadev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Jesus Christ